Hello children, my name is Mrs Stubbs and I'm the new assistant head teacher at your wonderful school. I'll be working with all of the children and the teachers in nursery, reception and year 1. I may also work with lots of you in other year groups too. You may see me around on the gate, welcoming you into school and saying goodbye to you as you leave to go home. You'll see me in the dinner hall and on the playground too. I can't wait to meet you all when it is safe. I would like to share with you a rhyming story today. I hope you enjoy it. You will need to listen carefully as I may ask you a few questions at the end. Okay, are you sitting comfortably? Let's begin. My story is called The Hope-o-potamus and it is written by Greg James and Chris Smith. In a drought, in the dust, in a dry river bed, a sad hippopotamus hung his grey head. He'd had nothing to drink since the start of this week. If he didn't find water, things could get quite bleak. The hippo was sad and the hippo was hot. But did he sit down and give in? Of course not. He remembered the words of a wise old giraffe that he'd heard long ago when he'd been a young calf. There'll be times in your life when your road will be tough. You'll be tempted to say that you've had quite enough. There'll be people that try and convince you to stop, and you'll feel that you're just about ready to drop. But those are the times when you've got to keep moving, and with every small step you will see things improving. Just point any way that seems hopeful to you. You move 1 foot forwards, then foot number 2. Then follow this up with your other 2 feet, then return to foot 1 and repeat and repeat. Remember these words, said the wise old giraffe to our hero the hippo when he was a calf. So the hippopotamus nodded his head. I'll keep plodding and see where I get to, he said. And he looked all around at the arid terrain and thought, will I ever find water again? Ahead, a high mountain rose up in the distance. It looked rocky and steep, but with hippo persistence, he decided he'd walk it till he had overcome it, in case there were better things over the summit. First he came to a desert which wasn't too handy. It was hard to walk through, rather slippy and sandy. A camel was sitting on top of a dune, and it told the hippo, you absolute loon. Turn around, go back, or you'll look like a chump. There's no water this way except this in my hump. But the hippopotamus shook his head. Just a bit further, he boldly said. 1 step at a time, he continued his journey, till he came to a jungle, dark, damp, green and ferny. The jungle was thick, and the creepers were creepy, and a large sloth hung down from a branch looking sleepy. This forest, it goes on for miles, he said, yawning. Why don't you just hang here with me till the morning? The hippo, though tempted, again shook his head. Just a bit further, he bravely said. He plunged on through the jungle, and after a while, he arrived at the mountain, the ultimate trial. Poor hippo was tired, almost giving up hope. But 1 step at a time, he pushed on up the slope. The mountain was rocky and strewn with huge boulders, then stones hurt his feet and the sun scorched his shoulders. A lion sat there on a rocky outcropping, and the lion called out, you're much better off stopping. But the hippopotamus shook his head. Just a bit further, he proudly said. His heart was heavy, his feet were so sore, but he climbed and he climbed, 1 step, then 1 step more. And just when he was feeling ready to drop, he finally realised that he'd reached the top, and a splendid sight met his eyes when he looked down. an open wide muddy waterhole gleaming and brown. He could see lots of splashing, someone was there bathing, a hippo, a friend, and they seemed to be waving. And the hippopotamus nodded his head. I'm glad that I chose to keep going, he said. Then a voice from behind him called out, we were wrong! The lion, the sloth, the camel had followed along. And the animals cried, you're more brave than the lot of us. Hip, hip, hooray for the hippopotamus. I hope you enjoyed my story, children. The hippopotamus never gives up. I want you to think of a time now when you didn't give up. Maybe you found something challenging and you had to keep going. How did you feel when you kept on going and you were successful? The hippopotamus meets lots of animals in the story who tell him to give up. What would you have said to the hippopotamus to help him not give up? Sometimes, children, when things are difficult, you might feel like giving up. But just like the hippopotamus, it's important to keep trying. Next time you're faced with a challenge and you feel like giving up, try becoming a hippopotamus. You may be finding it difficult working from home, missing all your friends. Keep working hard, keep trying, and I'm sure you'll be successful and feel like you've achieved something just like the hippopotamus. When you're back in school, you may want to think about being a good friend. And if you see one of your friends that are about to give up on something, think about what you could say to them to help them to become a hippopotamus. You might want to say, how can I help you? Don't give up. You've got this. I know you can do this. You'll be so proud of yourself when you finish. Be a hippopotamus. That's the end of my rhyming story, children. I can't wait to meet you all when you come back to school, when it's safe. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.